Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 469. Welcome to May. It's May 5th. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the fastest way I see advertisers killing a winning Facebook or Instagram ad. So yes, a lot of advertisers turn off ads way too soon before they have a chance to work, but there's also another problem. Sometimes advertisers have ads that are working for them, but then they do things that actually end up killing the ads that are working. It can be challenging to get good ads that are working. You certainly don't want to mess them up once they are. So today I'm going to talk about what I recommend you guys do and don't do so that hopefully you don't kill a winning ad. Now, I'm glad you guys are here. I can't believe it is May. It's almost summer. How crazy is that? Hope you guys are doing amazingly well. If you want to get in touch, if you want some help with your ads or with your AI through one-on-one consulting or done for you, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. We can set up a short Zoom call, and I would love to connect with you. So let's jump right into it. I want to try and keep these episodes short, sweet, full of value, and very actionable for you guys. And let's talk about how to hopefully not kill a winning ad. Now, I do want to say that there are different ways of doing things. These are my ways. It doesn't mean it's the only way, doesn't mean it always works, etc. So that's kind of like common sense, but I do want to mention that from time to time. Please keep that in mind. But this is my opinion based off of lots of years of doing this and a lot of data. All right, so point number one, I see so many advertisers, panic touching a winning ad. Do not panic touch an ad that's doing well. So you've got an ad that's working and you're like, I wonder if I should edit this. This one's crushing it, but I wish I would have said this one word a little differently. Maybe I should change it. Please don't do that. Anytime I have an ad that's doing really well, I do not touch it. I don't. Now, if I really want to make a change, what I'll do is I'll duplicate it and make a change in the new version, but I'm going to leave the old version to continue to run alongside it until the new version does really well. The problem is when you have an ad that's doing really well, if you make a significant edit, like changing the ad copy or changing the audience or the image or the video, it's almost like starting a brand new ad. And you're essentially taking a known ad that's good and going into an unknown status where it may not be good. Even if the ad is the same, other than a tiny little edit, it's like a new ad. It's treated like a new ad in many ways. And it may not work. You may have killed an ad that was crushing it. So I almost don't want you to even look at it if it's working good. Yes, look at it, but don't panic touch it. There are a couple exceptions to this. One would be if there's a big error in that ad where you're actually getting complaints. Maybe you said free shipping and it's not, or you misspelled something and it's making you look bad. Even if the ad is good, if there's like a big time error, yeah, you might want to look at changing it in that scenario, but it would still be tough if it was working good, right? The other one is if it's time gated. Obviously, if you're running an ad and the deadline is passed, or you mentioned a holiday and the holiday's over, regardless of how good it did, yeah, you might not want to keep that going, although sometimes we've run ads after the fact and it still does really well, so you never know. So there are exceptions, but for the most part, when you have a winning ad that's crushing it, if you want to edit something or change something, I recommend keep it running, duplicate it, and change it in the new version. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is scaling a winning ad. So when it comes to an ad that's doing well, people get excited, and that's good. You should. But a lot of times people get emotional about it too, meaning they get super overexcited to maybe scale that ad, maybe quicker than it should. I've seen people have an ad that does really well for a couple days, and all of a sudden, 2 days later, they're doubling the budget or even more. Same thing when an ad does bad for a day. They want to shut it off. Give it some time. Let it set a trend one way or the other. And that's probably going to take more than a couple days. It depends on your budget. Maybe you've got a huge budget and it could be a couple days. But for most of you, you're probably not going to want to do that after just a couple of good days. Be careful, because if you've got an ad that's doing well and all of a sudden you jack the budget up fast and high, you might just kill that ad. So you got to be very careful. My next tip for you guys is when you have an ad that's doing really good, instead of really messing with that ad, think about building around that ad. Back to my sports analogies. Pick any sport you want though. Let's say you're a coach and you've got a star player that's doing really well. You're not going to try and change that player's mechanics or change how they shoot or how they do whatever, because they're already doing great. But what you want to do is get other good players around that player so you have more good players. Think of it that way. So instead of tinkering with a good ad, let it do its thing, let it be great, and then build around it. You could take your good ad and send it to additional audiences to give it more room to become even better. But you can also figure out what's making it work so well and then create some alternatives with different hooks, a fresh creative, another angle that is still similar but different. You leave the good ad running and you test some of these alternatives alongside it and try and find some more winning players to surround the good player or good ad. And that's definitely something that I would do pretty consistently. And then my last point is this. There is a time when it is time to shut it off or refresh that ad in some way. Now, if it continues to do well, you're not getting complaints and you're doing really well with it, you're getting leads or sales at a great cost, high quality, I would keep it going. But let's say it's starting to degrade performance, not just for a couple days, but it's been happening for a while. Maybe the lead quality has gone way down. Maybe the sales have dropped off and you're looking and you've got a lot of ad fatigue. Maybe the audience is not that big. And so people start seeing it over and over and over again and there's issues. Well, in that scenario, maybe it's time to let that good ad rest. Maybe it's time to turn it off and start a new one that's a little bit different. But again, make sure that you're not just judging this over a couple days, that there's a trend that you can define that's been happening, then that makes sense. So when an ad is working, your job is not to tinker with it all the time or show how active you are and feel like you did something to change it. Your job is really to protect what's working and try and smartly expand it. So winning ads, they need some management and judgment and strategy, but they don't need tinkering in most situations, and most people tinker way too much. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique, results can vary, there's no guaranteed outcomes, so always keep that in mind. So I hope that was helpful. Next week, I'm going to be talking about how so many advertisers overcomplicate their campaigns and their ads, and how that can absolutely backfire. But until then, episode 469 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have a great week. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website. And I will talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.